All right, 100 degrees outside right now. I think it's a good time to test the new Harley heated vest. Let's go. All right, 100 degrees outside right now. I think it's a good time to test the new Harley heated vest. All right, here's the Harley heated vest. I'm gonna soak it up in a bucket of water. It says 2 minutes. Wring it out slightly so it's not dripping all over the place. And then we'll take it for a ride and see if in fact it makes riding in 95 plus humid weather bearable. Let's see. All right, here it is, soaking it up. And you know, if you hold it in, you can actually see the water lowering and that it soaks up a considerable amount of water, I would say. So I'm gonna keep it submerged for a couple minutes and then we'll put it on and I'll talk to you from the road. All right, guys and gals. Here we are. It's like 100 degrees right now in northern Jersey. And the only reason I'm really riding is to test the new Harley Davidson cooling vest that I got. So as you can see, I soaked it in a bucket of water for a couple of minutes. It absorbed a lot. I slightly wrung it out, put it on, felt, you know, like a wet t-shirt. And here we are, seeing how it works. I'm going about 40 miles an hour, third gear, 45. And I mean, I feel, I don't know, you know, in all honesty, it doesn't feel like air conditioning. It doesn't feel cool, but I'm also not dying. You know, I'm not sweltering. I would say my torso is comfortable. Also wearing this full face helmet, like the last test ride I did with the other vest, you know, you would think I'd be stifling in this full face helmet right now, but I'm not. And I think that has a lot to do with the cooling of my mid-body. So we'll see. I have my jacket opened a little bit. I'm wearing obviously my perforated summer jacket. Got my perforated pants on. And we're just gonna take a local ride on one of my favorite local twisties. This is also my first ride since I installed the Apple CarPlay. So that video will have come out already by the time you're watching this. As you can see, my Apple CarPlay icon should be right there, but it's not. Something's not hooked up right. I gotta figure that out when I get home. I checked my Bluetooth and it's connected to the wireless CarPlay adapter, which is in here. So I don't know what's going on. We'll have to figure that out. But I was hoping that would sync up right away. Yeah, usually the Apple CarPlay icon picks up right there and you just click that. So I don't know. Always something, you know? It's always something. Sitting at a light like this, it feels, I mean, I'm hot, but I'm not like overwhelmed hot. You know, it's just hot. But the cooling vest, it feels damp on my body I'm just wearing a cotton t-shirt underneath. Usually I wear like a moisture wicking athletic kind of shirt, but I just didn't have that on today and I was too lazy to go change. So I'm trying it out like this, but it feels like damp. It feels like you have a wet t-shirt, you know? And listen, on a hot, humid day, there's worse feelings in the world, right? I don't mind it at all. So we'll see how this does. The ride today is going to be about an hour. So we'll see after an hour how comfortable I am. Whew, all right, so this feels good. I feel like I have a nice little breeze. The wind passes through my jacket onto the vest, and I guess it's supposed to be like a cooling air conditioning type of feature. Like I said, it's not cold air, but it feels, I guess it amplifies the wind, is the best way to describe it. I think it's much better than having nothing on. And it's making my head feel cooler too, my face. Amazingly, I don't feel stifled in this full face helmet. I was really expecting it to be that uncomfortable. But my whole mid-torso is comfortable. That's the best way to describe the effects. And I got a size small so it would fit up tight against my body. I didn't want to get a baggier or loose-fitting vest because the whole idea is that it fits close to your body and you want it pressing up against you. It's not too tight by any means, so I think I picked the right size. I can honestly say I doubt I would get on the bike for a ride on a day like today without this vest on. I mean, I guess the only real way to test that out is to take it off and ride without it, but I really don't have an interest. I know how hot it would be. So what I want to do though is compare this vest with the other one I got from Amazon. Now this one fits a little bit better. It's a little more snug in a good way, form-fitting. The one from Amazon though fits fine too. It's just, in all honesty, I don't like the way it looks as much compared to the Harley. But again, you're wearing this under a jacket, you know, nobody can see it. Who cares what the vest looks like, right? You just want the best working vest. Oh, where am I going? Oh my God, I'm going the wrong way. I'm going a different route. Holy moly cannoli. How should I go? How should I go? Actually, I think I know how to go. Just take a little detour. I totally lost track of the route I wanted to go today. So I'm so busy talking about the cooling vest. This is also good weather to really determine if I need those engine heat deflectors. I've really been thinking about getting those to deflect some heat off of my leg, but so far it's not that bad, to be honest with you. I suppose if I was in stop and go traffic, it would be worse. I would not want to be in stop and go traffic today though. Just some calming previews of what I got going on with the bike. I purchased some auxiliary lighting from Custom Dynamics. I'm going to show you that. I got a fairing insert and a window trim, fairing trim insert that goes along the top. And as I explained to my wife when she asked me, and how much did this cost? I said, honey, it's a safety thing. I have to be seen. You can't have too much lighting. And you know what? How are you going to argue that, right? How are you going to argue that? I also pulled the trigger on a new seat. So I've been looking at seats for a while, and I kept going back and forth between Saddlemen and Lepera. At first, I really wanted Lepera. A variety of reasons. The different custom options that you could do with that bike, that seat, and but when I priced out a custom seat the way I wanted it, it was $1,000. And for a regular step-up style seat, they're tail whip style. If you look that up, they're tail whip. And I'm like, I'm not paying $1,000 for that seat. And I really, and then I kept going back and forth between the Saddlemen step up. You know, I like the tuck and roll style because it actually, people always complain how stiff Saddlemen seats can be in the beginning, but the tuck and roll is puffy, and it actually has some cushion to it right off the bat. So I kind of like that. I also like the way it looks the best. So, you know, I wanted to get a custom seat in some fashion, you know, to go with Big Red here with the red stitching and stuff like that. So when I get that, I'm not going to tell you which seat I ended up with, but when I get that, you'll get to see it. You will get to see it. Alright, so going 40, 45 on these local roads. I gotta say, I'm not uncomfortable. That's the whole point, right? Riding, I'm not uncomfortable. So, I think the vest is doing its job. I can't complain. Even though I did the test ride with the Amazon vest before, it wasn't in this hot of a weather, so I'm going to take it out again either today or tomorrow. It's going to be this warm too, and do one final comparison, and then I will pick one and return the other. But I have to say, I think I'm leaning towards the Harley, even though it's a little more expensive. It was only 20 bucks or so more expensive, so that's not so bad. And if the fit, as they say, the fit and finish is what you like, go with that. $20 is not worth getting something if there's anything about it that you don't really like. I'm not sweating in my helmet at all. It's kind of amazing to think about it. Anyway, oh, I almost missed my turn again. Pay attention, Jason, pay attention. As I was saying, stay tuned for the final decision on which cooling vests I'm going to keep. I gotta say though, so far, I'm glad I will have one of them. And I highly suggest getting a cooling vest if you live in a hotter climate and you like to ride in the heat. So you know what I just realized? I realized in my dash settings, if you go to like what I would call the diagnostic screen, where I could check my tire pressure, my oil, all this other stuff that really I don't really pay attention to. It has a digital odometer. I mean speedometer. Check it out. Just like the new Harley tech, right? With the all digital screens. Not quite as nice, but look, a digital speedometer. That's pretty cool. I just realized that. I kind of like looking at the analog though. Something about analog and seeing the little, I don't know, what do you even call the little thingy that goes up and down, back and forth, right? But I like, I don't know, something about analog that satisfying. Alright, I've been riding for a little bit now, almost an hour I would say. I haven't kept track, but it's about an hour, because I know this route. And I'm still pretty comfortable. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's warm, right? But it's not like unbearable.
I don't even feel like I'm sweating. My head is fine. I gotta be honest with you, my face and this full face helmet, it's fine. And when I go 50 plus miles per hour, isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Beautiful. This side too, beautiful. When I'm going 50 plus, it feels even nicer. So the vest is doing its job. I really believe that. And this is not an unenjoyable ride. When I'm going under 40 miles an hour, or I'm stopped at a light, or whatever, it's a little warm. But it's, 95 plus degrees out, so it's supposed to be. But I could go out for a ride, no problem. Now the only question is, how long will this last, right? I don't know. But listen, we're about an hour in. And it's still the same as when it began, so I have a feeling this would last quite a bit longer. I've read other negative reviews on cooling vests in general. Oh, it only lasts 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it's a piece of junk. I'm not getting that at all. I think this is well worth the money. And it really wasn't that much money. So if you like riding and you don't want to feel like you can't ride in 90 plus degree weather, then I definitely would endorse getting this. Till next time, everybody, stay safe. I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel and help me get to 1,000 subscribers. Catch you soon. Whew, all right, back from the ride. Here I am, I'm still wearing the vest. Literally just got home. You can see how it fits me, kind of nice and snug, right? Up against me. It's still damp, it's still damp. I wouldn't say it's soaked, but it's still damp. And I'm hot, don't get me wrong, but I'm not like crazy. Nothing a cool beer wouldn't take care of right now. But other than that, I think I like this vest. And yeah, I think it did its job. So again, I'll try out the one from Amazon one more time and let you know which one I choose. Stay tuned.